and we want to draw it on our original image. And then we are going to write here x1, y1, and then x2 and y2. And then we are going to give it a color. Let's give it green, so 255 and 0. And then we will give it a thickness of 2. And then we can draw another rectangle, cv2.rectangle, on our original image. Now this one will be x1 and y2 minus 35, and then this is x2 and then y2, and then 0, 255 and 0, and then this will be cv2.filled. Now this is the method that the author used. I'm using the same method to display because it has a rectangle at the bottom and then it shows the name, which actually looks nice. So we are using the same method. So cv2.putText, and we are going to put the name. So we will write here name. Because the name is already in string format, we don't have to convert it. And then we will write here x1 plus 6, then y2 minus 6, and then we are going to write cv2 dot font. We will pick any font, and then we will give it a scale. Let's give it 1, and then we will give it a color. So let's give it white color. And do we need to give something else? Let's give it a thickness of 2. So if we run this, you will see we have a problem. So let's run that. So there we go. So we are detecting properly, but the location is wrong. And the reason for that is that we have scaled down our image to 1/4 the size, and then we are performing all these calculations. So in order to revive that actual values again, we have to multiply our value with 4. So what we can do is we can write here this equals multiplied by 4, then multiplied by 4, multiplied by 4, and multiplied by 4. So if we run that now, so there you go. So now it's showing it in the correct place, and it's showing the name as well, Bill Gates. And if we try out another image, so it's giving us Elon Musk properly, and then if we try another image, and it's giving us Jack Ma. So now we are able to detect all of them properly. So we can comment these out because we are already displaying. Now the next step would be to mark our attendance. So to do that, we can create a new function, and we will go up here. We will write here mark attendance, and all we need is the name to write down our attendance. So to mark the attendance, we will just write the name and the time that they arrived. Now you can experiment with this. You can add a lot of different things. You can even link it to a database, and you can do a lot of different things. But to keep it simple, we are only going to use name and the time they arrived. Now to use the time, we will need the library for a time and date. So we will say that from dates time import dates time. So we will be using this. So now what we will do is we will create an attendance file. So we will go here, we will create file new, and we will create a new file, and we will call this attendance.csv. CSV stands for comma separated values. So the values we put in will be separated with commas. So we will write that in, and we will ignore this, and then inside we will write name, comma, and then time. So these will be the two values that we will enter. So we will save this. Let me go back and save, and then we will go back to our attendance, and over here we will open this file. So we will say with open, we are going to open attendance, not this, attendance.csv, and we want to read and write at the same time. So we will say write plus, and we will say as F. Now we are going to read in all the lines that we have currently in our data. The reason for this is that if somebody is already arrived, we don't want to repeat it. So we will create a list. So we will say my data list is equals to f dot read lines, and we can print this out, my data list. So if I just call it here mark attendance, and if I just put A in here, and then if we run this, you can see it gives us name and time. So next we are going to go through this list one by one. So we will say that for line, in right now we only have one line. So later on we will have multiple lines. So we will go through each line and we will say my data list. We want to find the entry, so we will write entry is equals to line dot split. So we want to split them based on comma. So then we will have name and time separated. So name will be our first element. So we can write, we can create a new list here. We can write here name list. This will be an empty list, and we want to put all the names we find in this list. So our entry is basically two values. We just want the first one, so we will say name list dot append, and we are going to append the first element of our entry. So entry at 0. So entry 0 will be name. So it will append only the names in our list. So once we have the list of all the names, we are going to check if the current name is present or not. Name not in name list. If the name is already not present, then we are going to find the time. So we will say now is equals to date time dot now. This will give us the date and time, and we will only write the time. So we will write our date string is equals to the date and time string is equals to now dot string, and then we are going to write the format. The format is basically percentage hour, and then percentage minutes, and then percentage seconds. So then we can write f dot write lines, and we can write f, and then we always want to write it in a new line, so we'll put a new line, and then we will put curly brackets, and we will write in the name, Then we will write a comma because they are comma separated values, and then we will write in our time. So date time string, and there you go. So if I send in the name, let's say Elon, it should enter the value. So let's run that. So if we go to our attendance, and there you go. So it entered Elon, and it entered that at the current time 10:43 and 04 seconds. So now whenever we find the face, we have to call this function and give it the name. So we will remove this from here, and over here, whenever we are matching, we are going to send in to our mark attendance. So here we will just say the name, and that is pretty much it. So if I go back to the attendance list, so as you can see, Elon is already there. So even if I put the image of Elon in front, it will not do anything because it's already there. Now it will only mark the attendance for who is left, Bill Gates and Jack Ma. So let's show that, and let's see how it works. So here we have Bill Gates. So we have shown Bill Gates, and then we will go to Jack Ma, and there you go. So if we stop this now, and you can see that the two new entries have been added. So you can see Bill Gates, and then you can see Jack Ma. So this looks weird because we are not used to of reading tables like this. So if we go to our project directory, and if we open this in Excel, it will look normal. So here you can see that we have the 3 entries at their given times. So the final thing we will look at is how easily can we add another class or another human being. So what we can do is, as you can see here, I have another image of Jeffrey Preston, and what I can do is I can just drag it in my images attendance, and that's it. So now it will be able to find the images of Jeffrey as well. So if I run this, now if I bring in the image, you can see that it has detected it properly. And if I close this and go back to my attendance, you can see a new record with the correct name has been added. So this is how easy it is to actually add new people. All you have to do is just bring in the images of whoever you want to add to this folder. So this is it for today's video. I hope you have learned something new. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe, and I will see you in the next video.